Hazara is our own beautiful custom, tradition, beautiful clothing.
Over the past 5,000 years, it's been mixed into it, different cultures all around to become what it is today.
Everything is so colorful and so different from every other culture. I call myself a proud Hazara. Hazaras just hold such a different meaning. Despite all of the challenges they faced, they got back up, they rebuilt the life that they lost. And to me, that just kind of means like, if I'm dealing with something that may be difficult, I know I'll get through it. Hi, so in Farsi we say salam. My name is Hazaragi. I'm originally from Baghlan, Afghanistan, and then I came to Canada in 2013. I was one of the fortunate ones that came here. I call myself a nature photographer. I'm also a graphic designer, mainly in posters, logos for small businesses.
My name is Sarah. I'm a 22-year-old Afghan girl who was born and raised in Canada. My family is from Hazara ethnicity, so.
My name is Shanaz Sheikh Mohammed. I'm from Kabul, Afghanistan. I'm studying nursing, so I'm a nursing student right now. I love to travel. I've been to Afghanistan a couple of times. I've been to Turkey.
I have a dream of traveling the world since I am a Canadian citizen, and I'm proud to call that. I have the freedom as a girl to be able to travel the world.
The Hazaras are the third largest ethnic group in Afghanistan. They usually live in the mountainous regions of Afghanistan, known as Hazarajat. And then within the Hazarajat regions is provinces such as Bamyan, Ghazni, Uruzgan, Padwan.
We have our own cultural dresses, music, and our own dialect of Farsi.
One of the most beautiful things would be our language, Farsi.
We speak Dari or Hazaragi, which is a dialect of Farsi. So the only difference between Dari and Hazaragi is the accent.
There's so many delicious food. One of my favorite is Kabuli palau.
Kabuli palau. Kabuli is like a rice dish with like carrots and raisins. It's like super good. It's sweet and salty. We eat mantu. Mantu is kind of like a dumpling dish with like meat inside.
We have haft mewa, that's 7 dry fruits that we usually serve in Nowruz.
Nowruz, which is the first day of spring. That kind of marks our New Year's.
Not all Afghans celebrate. It's mainly Shia Muslim that celebrates Nowruz.
We make haft mewa, it's pistachios, almonds, dried plums, just soaked in like sugared water, and then
we give it to our neighbors, to our relatives, just to have a sweet New Year. Really love to dance. If you go to Afghan weddings, everybody's going to be on the dance floor dancing. That is something that we love. That's like our source of enjoyment. Atan, that's a traditional Afghan dance.
So that's usually men and women, they wear their traditional clothes and they usually dance around a circle. Everyone sits down and then usually 2 people will go and they'll just dance in the middle.
And then we flip our hair, we jump, we follow the music.
For music, we have 2 special instruments. One is called the tambura and one is called a doira. The tambura is usually like a long-necked instrument, kind of like a guitar. People usually sing poems, just kind of conveying like their suffering and the pain that they've gone through in the past. And then the doira is kind of like a drum, and that's usually played during celebrations, so like weddings, Nowruz. Hazaragi clothing is more simpler compared to the decked-out Afghan dresses. It kind of has just more like simple stitching. It's more subtle, it's more neutral, full and nice. Sometimes you just need a simple dress. Yeah.
It has a very beautiful embroidery. A lot of Afghan women make that clothing. My biggest culture shock would be I moved from Afghanistan to Pakistan, and both countries are a very collectivistic country. It has that system, it has that tradition. And Canada is a very individualistic country. It's very quiet outside. Every time you step outside, you don't see anybody. But when I was in Afghanistan and in Pakistan, there's a lot of people outside. You mingle, you make a lot of friends easily. So that is something that I've struggled here because I have to push myself to do everything. Where back, it's more everybody pushes you, everybody helps you to grow.
In like Hazarajat region, specifically like Bamyan, life there is really different. For example, Hazaras are very hardworking people. A lot of people would make their own homes. They would actually make mud houses. They make their own clothing. Here, like if I was to get like a jug of milk, I'd go to the grocery store and get a jug of milk, right? But back home, like you have to go and you have to milk cows, and everything is just so like organic, and like you have to kind of do everything on your own there.
The Hazaras are the ethnic minority in Afghanistan, Pashtuns being the majority. Since they're the ethnic minority, they have faced a lot of problems.
They're probably the most targeted group of Afghans.
They're brutalized, discriminated, and they're not safe. Based on my knowledge, it's been going on for over 130 years. It's been happening, but it never got the chance to be in front of the media.
When Abdurrahman came into rule in 1880,
he absolutely despised Hazaras because of our facial features.
Our features look more Eastern Asian, smaller eyes, smaller nose, flatter face. So it does look really different than the typical like Afghan look. That's how people usually set us.
Other thing is, a majority of Hazaras are Shia Muslims. Shiism is the second largest sect of Islam. In Afghanistan, majority of people are Sunni. So when the king ruled and conquered Afghanistan, he wanted to only enforce Sunnism in the country. Not only were a lot of them killed and slaughtered, a lot of them were displaced as well.
He killed off 60% of the Hazara population and committed mass genocide on our people. So that's part of the reason why we're such a minority today in Afghanistan, because most of our people were wiped away.
After that era, life was good for them up until 1994 when Taliban came. They didn't conquer Kabul, which is the capital, until 1996. So back at that time, my parents got married, and it was just a really tough situation at the time, because when my dad explains it to me, it's so heartbreaking, because they got married and then a couple of days after, they had to leave. So, Taliban did not like Hazaras because they were Shia, because, we look different, and they basically were killing them. Your punishments were pretty much being slaughtered or going to prison, even slavery too. It was either they stay and he gets killed or he moves. In Bamyan, Buddhism was practiced there too. So again, when the Taliban came, they completely destroyed the Buddha statues because they only wanted Sunnism to be practiced there. So they destroyed the Buddhas in 2001. So yeah, it was pretty much as for Hazaras, it's pretty much ethnic cleansing, and yeah, it was devastating.
You're not safe to express your religion the way you want to, and the recent Kabul attack is a very prominent proof that it will continue to happen.
There's Sunni Hazaras as well. How would you know if they're Sunni or Shia? It's happening to all of us.
The attack that happened in a Hazara maternity clinic, so a lot of mothers and babies passed away. There was also another attack in a school. It's called Kaj Education Center. And so many young Hazaras, educated Hazaras, were killed.
Through my siblings and through my mom and dad, they have had many stories that they have been bullied, they have been discriminated while they were going to school from their fellow other ethnicities that are in Afghanistan.
I remember when the Taliban took over again, it was I felt like history was repeating itself again. Not only for the Hazara community, all the Afghans were affected by this. And as for my cousins living back home, a couple months ago, Taliban declared that women can no longer seek education. And once I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, you took everything from them now.
It was getting better for some time, but then after the Taliban came back, it just looks like it's getting worse. And the attacks are getting more extreme on us.
I don't know what should I say, because it's very hard to speak about it, because I remember one of my aunts told me that how we women in Afghanistan, especially Hazara women, we were unsafe. And she told me so many horrific stories that I don't think I'm comfortable to disclose that, but we have never been accepted to call ourselves as an Afghan. With that being said, we never got the equal opportunity, equal recognition, And we have still been struggling, especially women. They're not safe to go out and have freedom to education and have freedom to voice out their opinion. A lot of us has migrated to Canada, to Germany, to a lot of European countries. About 9% has left in Afghanistan.
It was honestly a really big shock. I did not know that people could be so cruel.
Put yourself in their shoes. It's like we are both Afghan Hazara girls who go to school and have the privilege of studying here. So when you see that right being taken away from girls who look like us, and that could have been us, it's really sad. It breaks your heart.
Born and raised in Canada, just even waking up and going to school, driving to school, knowing I'm safe is such a big privilege. I can never take that for granted, and I never will. And it's like, if I can get that, why can't they have that too, you know? I feel so guilty that sometimes I just feel so helpless. And yeah, it just makes me very upset.
The situation in Afghanistan, we are not a very progressive country, and we were never progressive because of the constant war. It never got the chance to be in front of the media, and it's happening now. It's starting to get better in a sense that we as a Hazara, we're getting recognized. So many Hazara girls have protesting their voice in capital city of Afghanistan, in Kabul. They're going on the streets, they're raising their voice as a woman. That is a very brave thing to do.
So in August 2021, when the Taliban came, there was an international world protest going on for Afghanistan. It started in California. I know a couple of girls who organized it. A couple Afghans in the community, we got together. There was about 7 of us, and we organized this protest through Instagram. We got in contact with the people who were organizing it. There was protests going on all over Canada, all over America, the UK, Europe, and it was just really nice to see the whole world stand up for Afghanistan. And we also did a march in City Hall. It was a huge success. So many people came out, and it wasn't only Afghans, which is nice because, with this, you don't have to be Afghan to stand up for something like this. It's just being human, standing up for humanity. So it was nice. It turned out amazing.
We want our girls to have the same opportunity as boys. Give us the freedom to education, to give us the freedom to be a part of Afghanistan, to be accepted.
Being a Hazara means being strong and knowing that you'll get through things.
That no matter what challenges or hardships I face, I know that I will get through it. They've gone through so much pain and suffering, and they've made so many sacrifices in the past, and they've managed to pick themselves up and start again. If they can do it, so can I.
Aware of the differences that we have and try to embrace it and accept Hazara people as one of the Afghan.
Defend the truth, stand up for what's right. There's so many voices out there that cannot be heard, so many Hazara women that cannot speak. They have a story that we'll never hear. Being in a privileged country like this, as a Hazara woman myself, we should stand up for those who do not have a voice.